We started by designing what was the first cinematic virtual reality camera at the time, creating the first VR 360 3D experience, Strangers with Patrick Watson, a Montreal musician. I found a way to force the headset onto Palmer's Lucky's face at CES in 2014. It was a demo of a test shoot that we had done. And then that started a relationship with Oculus, which became a relationship with Facebook and then Meta. Basically, since then, we've been focused on those two things, the creative development of virtual reality storytelling, but through that, a lot of technology development. So starting with that first camera and many other cameras, eventually cameras that were sent into space. And more recently, we've been focused on large-scale, location-based virtual reality experiences. So experiences for up to over 150, 60, 70 people, free roaming in a large open space, collectively experiencing a virtual reality story.
This origin story of starting in media, moving into immersive, very early. And like you said, VR it was mind-blowing, but also required like a suitcase and of gear and maybe a couple hours to get set up before you could really dive in. What about virtual reality then caught your attention and triggered that inspiration that you've been able to follow for over a decade since?
Maybe I'll start by talking about what
Yeah.
drew us to immersive storytelling. I was since I was a child, I think I was 9 or 10 when I started making movies, and I always imagined I would, one day hoped I would become a filmmaker and studied film. And within cinema, there were certain movies that I found had a more immersive quality than others. And by that, I mean almost like films that left space for the viewer, right? Usually these were slower paced films that would have less cuts and longer takes, and there'd be like a psychological, almost spiritual quality to them. And these were the kind of films we loved and we aspired to make. At some point in the early mid 2000s, there was a lot of immersive kind of projection experiences, projection mapping. Immersive theater was becoming bigger, mixing media,